Chosen one, tonight is not an ordinary night. The atmosphere around you has shifted, the air feels alive, the silence feels heavy, and your spirit knows something divine is being spoken. You've been sensing it in your dreams, in your restlessness, even in your tears. Heaven has been preparing to reveal what was once hidden. This isn't imagination, it's divine timing. God doesn't whisper unless there's something eternal on the line. For too long, you've lived under questions that had no answers. Why me? Why this path? Why does my life feel like a mystery no one else can understand? But the Spirit says tonight, because you were never meant to blend in. You were chosen to stand out in a generation that lost its hearing for the voice of God. You've been feeling unseen, but the unseen world has always been watching you. Everything you went through, the betrayals, the losses, the loneliness, it was training. Heaven hid you so the world couldn't misuse you. When others thought you were being rejected, you were actually being refined. The furnace was never meant to destroy you. It was designed to separate gold from impurity. You were hidden in pain so you could be revealed in power. Chosen one, don't run from this season. Embrace it. This is the night when the curtain of confusion lifts. The same Spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis is hovering over your life right now. You are on the brink of divine revelation. Heaven is about to tell you everything you were born to know. Before you continue, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, can I feel heaven watching? Can I sense that I'm not alone in this room? If you can, comment, I feel this below, because tonight, your confirmation is not in signs and wonders, it's in recognition. Many don't realize this truth. When heaven places a crown of purpose on your life, hell marks you as a threat. The moment you were chosen, the battle began. That's why things suddenly went wrong when you started doing right. You weren't being punished, you were being proven. The chosen aren't tested because they're weak. They're tested because they carry something eternal inside them. Every attack you faced wasn't random. Every delay, every heartbreak, every misunderstanding was spiritual architecture, designed to carve out endurance in your soul. The enemy saw your potential long before you did. He attacked your peace because he couldn't steal your promise. He tried to silence you because he feared the sound of your voice shaking his kingdom. Some of you cried thinking God abandoned you. But listen, the silence of God is never absence, it's strategy. When heaven is quiet, it's because something sacred is unfolding behind the veil. You're not being ignored, you're being positioned. Remember Job, when everything collapsed, it wasn't because God was gone. It was because heaven trusted him enough to allow the testing. So tonight, if you're tired, if your faith feels bruised, don't give up. This message is your spiritual wake-up call. You are not losing, you're being sharpened. You are not forgotten, you're being observed. Angels have recorded your tears, and heaven is preparing to repay what was stolen. The storm didn't break you, it revealed you. Ask yourself, chosen one, what if everything that tried to destroy you was actually the instrument God used to define you? If that hits your spirit, write in the comments, my pain had purpose. Let the world know you survived what was meant to silence you. You wondered why nothing seemed to move, why prayers took years, why people rose before you who didn't even love God. You felt invisible in rooms where you should have been recognized. But listen, visibility is not validation. Hiddenness is heaven's way of protection. When God hides you, it's because he's still forming something that premature exposure would destroy. Think of Moses. Before he faced Pharaoh, he spent 40 years in the wilderness learning how to shepherd sheep, not men. Before Joseph wore the robe of power, he wore the chains of slavery. Before David sat on the throne, he was tending sheep while forgotten by his own father. Hiddenness is not punishment, it's preservation. God hides his most powerful weapons until it's time to release them. You've been under what felt like divine silence, but tonight God says, I was never silent, I was speaking through your stillness. Every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every moment of delay, it was heaven protecting you from counterfeit timing. If you had risen too soon, the weight of your calling would have crushed you. You were not waiting for God. God was waiting for you to mature into the promise. This is your unveiling season. The same God who kept you hidden is now going to reveal you to those who wrote you off. You don't need to chase platforms. Heaven is about to elevate you in divine order. When it happens, remember this night, the night heaven told you everything. Comment below, God, I'm ready for my unveiling. And if you feel that in your spirit, like this video and share it with someone else who's still in hiding. Their time is coming too. Something is stirring in the unseen. You can feel it, your spirit has been restless, your dreams vivid, your discernment sharper. This isn't anxiety, it's alignment. The spirit is repositioning you. You are being moved from survival mode to revelation mode. Heaven has sounded a trumpet that few can hear, and you, chosen one, are one of them. The world is entering a divine turning point. What used to make sense no longer does. Old relationships fade, familiar paths feel foreign, and your heart longs for something beyond this reality. That's because the Spirit of God is awakening the remnant. You're not crazy, you're calibrating. When the frequency of heaven rises, everything not in tune with it starts to fall away. Prophetically, we are stepping into the season where secrets are being exposed, not just in governments and systems, but within souls. The Spirit says, I am uncovering the hidden motives of hearts. This is why people around you are revealing their true colors. Don't be shocked by betrayal, it's revelation. God removes masks so you can walk in clarity, not confusion. This shaking isn't destruction, it's alignment. What is not rooted in truth is falling, but what is anchored in God will remain unshaken. That includes you. Stand firm. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead is awakening you from spiritual sleep. You were never meant to drift, you were designed to discern. Ask yourself tonight, what is God shifting in me that I've been resisting? Let me know in the comments. Someone needs to read your testimony. Chosen One, the title of this message is not poetic, it's prophetic. Tonight is the night of revelation. The Spirit of God is ready to speak with clarity you've never experienced before. You will begin to understand dreams that once confused you. Scriptures that felt distant will suddenly breathe life. You will see patterns in your past and realize they were divine fingerprints. Heaven is not revealing secrets to entertain your curiosity, it's unveiling wisdom to activate your calling. You've asked, Lord, show me my purpose, and He's saying, look within, I've already placed it there. Everything you need to fulfill your assignment is already inside you. Revelation isn't new information, it's old truth remembered at the right time. When heaven reveals, it also requires. Revelation without obedience leads to stagnation. So as you receive divine insight, be ready to act. Some of you will be instructed to move, forgive, release, or speak. Don't doubt it. You've matured enough to handle higher truth. The fact that you're watching Mirror of the Soul right now is proof you've been chosen to receive what others aren't yet ready to hear. The Spirit says tonight, my people will no longer live blind in the age of light. You are part of that awakening army. Rise up, listen closely, and write down what the Spirit reveals in the next few days. Your answers are closer than you think. If this speaks to you, comment Revelation confirmed, and let others know that heaven has started to speak. Chosen One, you've been fighting for so long that even your spirit feels bruised. You've cried prayers that turned into silence and waited for promises that seemed delayed. Heaven understands your exhaustion, but this is not the time to give in. The Spirit says, you are closer than you think. Weariness often comes right before the release. Bitterness is the enemy's final weapon. He knows he cannot destroy a chosen one, so he tries to drain them. He sends distractions disguised as disappointments, people disguised as peace, and emotions disguised as truth. But listen closely. The weight you feel right now is not defeat, it's transformation. You are shedding the old version of yourself. The shell is cracking so the new you can emerge. When Elijah grew tired, he ran into the wilderness, ready to give up. But God didn't scold him, He sent an angel with bread and water. The angel said, get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you. The same way, heaven is sending you spiritual nourishment right now. Every word you're hearing is fresh manna, meant to keep you alive until the promise unfolds. So don't allow bitterness to harden what God softened through pain. Your heart is holy ground. Guard it with worship. Speak life even when you feel lifeless. This is your moment of divine recalibration. The Spirit says, I will renew your strength and restore your joy. Comment below, I refuse to be bitter, I choose to be better. And if you feel that strength rising again, share this message with someone whose faith is fading. They need your endurance to remind them heaven hasn't forgotten. You thought loneliness was punishment, but in heaven's eyes, it was consecration. The isolation wasn't to hurt you, it was to prepare you. God separated you not because you were unworthy of love, but because your spirit was too valuable to be contaminated by noise. When heaven marks you, solitude becomes sacred space. Moses was alone when he saw the burning bush. Elijah was alone when he heard the still small voice. Jesus withdrew alone to pray before every major miracle. Isolation is where divine intimacy is born. You were never being abandoned, you were being invited. God was saying, come closer, there's something I can only tell you in silence. In your isolation, you started hearing heaven more clearly. The things that used to excite you no longer satisfy you. The people you once craved validation from no longer feel aligned. That's because you're shifting dimensions from needing company to craving communion. You've been called into a deeper relationship with God Himself. Don't rush out of this season. It's holy ground. When you come out, you won't just be changed, you'll carry revelation. People will notice something different about you, and it won't be your words, it'll be your aura of peace. Isolation refined your frequency to match heaven. Chosen one, ask yourself, what if the silence around you was God's voice all along? If this resonates, comment, my isolation was holy. Let that be your declaration tonight. The Spirit says tonight, everything hidden will be revealed. This is not just happening in the world, it's happening around you. God is exposing motives, revealing hearts, and unveiling what you could not see before. This isn't to shame, it's to protect. He's showing you who is truly with you and who was only near you for what they could gain. You've noticed sudden shifts, friendships fading, strange tensions, unexpected truths surfacing. Don't panic. Heaven is cleaning your circle because your calling cannot coexist with confusion. When God elevates you, He prunes your environment. Remember, Judas was necessary for the prophecy, but not for the next season. This exposure is divine mercy. You asked God to bless you, and He's doing it by removing the people who can't go where you're headed. Trust this pruning. Every goodbye is guided. Every revelation is release. The Spirit says, you don't need to chase what I removed. Some of you are still holding on to what God already cut off. Release it. Let go with peace. The same hand that took it away is the hand that will bring divine replacements. This is your purification season, not to destroy you, but to distinguish you. You prayed years ago and the answer didn't come. You fasted, cried, and waited, but heaven seemed unmoved. Yet now, when you least expect it, things are aligning. Why? Because God never works on your clock, He works on your character. You weren't being ignored, you were being developed. There's a divine code written into time itself. When a chosen one matures spiritually, heaven releases what was once withheld. Think about it. Joseph's dream came at 17, but the throne came years later. David was anointed as a boy, but crowned as a man. The promise always requires preparation. God never delays to punish, He delays to stabilize what He's about to give you. You may not see it, but heaven works like a chessboard. Every piece moves with precision. What felt like random events were actually divine synchronization. You weren't ready before. You were still healing, still forgiving, still learning to trust. But now, your timeline has caught up with your destiny. Heaven is unlocking what was held for its appointed moment. The Spirit says tonight, the wait wasn't wasted. Everything you lost in delay will return with interest. The things you begged for before will now seek you. Your name will enter rooms your feet haven't walked into yet. Ask yourself this, chosen one. If God had answered earlier, would I have truly been ready? Comment, my timing is divine. If you understand that heaven was never late, you were just being aligned. This is one of the deepest revelations heaven is releasing right now. We are entering a season of divine reversal. The overlooked will be honored. The rejected will be remembered. The mocked will be magnified. The same ones who said you'd never rise will witness your divine elevation. The spiritual tables are turning. When Joseph's brothers threw him into a pit, they didn't realize they were sending him to his palace. The pain was a portal. The betrayal was a bridge. The rejection was redirection. The same pattern is repeating in your life. You were cast aside, but you're about to be crowned. The last shall indeed become first, because the kingdom always operates opposite to the world. The Spirit says, those who endured humiliation with humility will now walk in honor with authority. This is your prophetic turnaround. Every injustice, every misunderstanding, every moment you were overlooked, heaven has recorded it. Now, God is setting a table before you in the presence of those who doubted you, not to embarrass them but to vindicate you. Chosen one, don't let bitterness taint your victory. When the elevation comes, stay humble. Remember, you didn't promote yourself. Heaven did. This is not revenge, it's revelation. The light on you now is not for show, it's for service. Shine with grace. If this word resonates, comment, reversal confirmed below. And take a deep breath, because your story is about to reverse in ways that will leave even you speechless. Chosen one, something inside you has been quietly waking up. You felt it in your spirit, an increase in sensitivity, in discernment, in inner knowing. You're beginning to perceive things before they happen, sense energy before it's spoken, and understand truth beyond logic. That's not coincidence, that's activation. Heaven is awakening the divine power that was always inside you. When the Spirit enters a life fully, it doesn't make you ordinary, it makes you supernatural. You start to walk differently, think differently, and see differently. You begin to understand that you were never meant to just survive, you were meant to influence atmospheres. Every chosen one carries a frequency that shifts rooms. That's why people either feel peace around you or agitation. Your very presence exposes spiritual reality. The Spirit says tonight, I am stirring gifts that have been dormant. Dreams, visions, healing, words of wisdom. They're not random impulses. They are divine signals. You're being reintroduced to your original spiritual blueprint. This is what you carried before pain tried to make you forget. Now, you're being restored to factory settings, to divine design. Don't fear this awakening. It's not strange, it's sacred. When you begin to feel different, it's because heaven has updated your spirit to handle your next assignment. You are being equipped for spiritual warfare, but also for spiritual impact. This is your emergent season, the manifestation of the hidden power you've always carried. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what gift is God awakening in me right now that I've been ignoring? Chosen one, this is a warning from the Spirit. Your next battle won't be fought with swords, it will be fought with discernment. Not everyone who says they're for you is. Some are assignments in disguise. And as you rise, you must learn to listen not only to words but to energy. The gift of discernment is not suspicion, it's spiritual perception. God will often allow deceivers to approach you just to see if you've learned to recognize energy beyond charm. Remember when Jesus called Judas friend, even in betrayal. It wasn't sarcasm, it was revelation. Jesus discerned that Judas's betrayal was part of his mission. When you carry divine purpose, even your enemies have roles in your promotion. You must understand this, chosen one, discernment is protection. It saves you from counterfeits that look like blessings but are traps in disguise. When you feel your spirit grow uneasy around someone, trust it. That's not paranoia. That's the Spirit warning you. Heaven never speaks to your logic, it speaks through peace or disturbance. This is why isolation taught you discernment. You had to learn how God sounds, so you could tell when something else is imitating his voice. The coming season will bring opportunities and people that look divine but are not assigned. Pray for the ability to sense frequency, not face. Ask yourself, am I still drawn to what drains me, or have I learned to walk away in peace? Comment, I choose discernment, below if you're ready to protect your peace like it's your treasure, because it is. The Spirit says tonight, your power is not in your noise, it's in your peace. Peace is not weakness, it's warfare. When storms rise and you stay calm, it confuses the enemy. He expects chaos from you because he built the storm to break you. But when you respond with peace, you announce that your spirit is governed by heaven, not by hell. You've learned that peace isn't the absence of problems, but the presence of divine order. Even when everything collapses around you, peace says, God's still in control. That's why Jesus slept in the storm. The storm wasn't the test. His response was. Your storms are your classroom, each one training you to master your emotions under pressure. When you protect your peace, you protect your prophecy. The enemy's strategy isn't always to destroy you directly, it's to distract you. If he can steal your focus, he can delay your destiny. But when you learn to stay centered in the Spirit, even your enemies will realize they can't move you anymore. You become untouchable, not because you fight harder, but because you rest deeper. The Spirit whispers tonight, wear peace like armor. When gossip comes, stay silent. When confusion rises, stay still. When the storm howls, sleep like Jesus did. Peace is not passivity, it's divine authority over chaos. Chosen one, pay attention to what happens when your eyes close. The Spirit is saying tonight, I've been speaking to you in dreams, but you've been too busy to listen. Dreams are heaven's language when the world gets too loud. When your body rests, your soul travels, and that's where God downloads revelation your waking mind cannot receive. You've seen symbols, doors, water, storms, light, or even unknown faces. These are not random. They are messages encrypted in imagery. Water often means purification. Storms mean cleansing. Doors represent new access. Pay attention to patterns. Heaven repeats what you ignore. Joseph's destiny came through dreams, so can yours. If you've been experiencing strange dreams lately, don't fear them. Journal them, pray over them. The Spirit is training you in prophetic communication. You're learning to interpret divine frequency. Some dreams warn you, others prepare you. Some confirm that what you prayed for is already manifesting. The Spirit says, the reason I speak in dreams is because I trust you with symbols. Your spiritual maturity is growing. You no longer need loud signs. You discern whispers. Dreams are heaven's way of letting you see reality from a higher dimension. Treat them as sacred encounters, not coincidences. There's a reason this message found you tonight. Midnight is not just a time, it's a transition. It's when one day dies and another is born. Spiritually, it's when heaven moves in silence. The darkest hour of your life is usually the moment before divine intervention. In Scripture, Paul and Silas were imprisoned at midnight, but they worshipped instead of worrying. The earth shook, the doors opened, and chains fell off. Why? Because worship in the dark shifts atmospheres. Midnight prayers carry multiplied power because they're born from faith, not comfort. You've been in your midnight season where everything looks uncertain and prayers feel unanswered. But listen carefully. Heaven works best in the dark because that's when faith has no crutch. You're about to witness divine movement where you least expect it. The Spirit says, before dawn, you'll see why the delay was divine. Don't curse your midnight, use it. Sing when you should cry, praise when you should panic. Your midnight isn't your ending, it's your portal to breakthrough. Heaven works while you sleep, and what you'll wake up to will prove that God never stopped moving. Chosen one, you have felt alone for so long that solitude became your normal. But the Spirit says tonight, you are about to meet your mirrors. Across the world, heaven is summoning its scattered lights, the remnant who never bowed to the noise, who kept their hearts pure while others chased applause. You are one of them. This gathering isn't about religion or fame, it's about resonance. Souls that vibrate with the same heavenly frequency will begin to find one another by divine coincidence. Expect sudden connections, unfamiliar names reaching out, and doors opening where there were walls. These are not random encounters, they are assignments. Each connection will accelerate your purpose. When Elijah thought he was the last prophet left, God said, "I still have 7,000 who have not bowed." The same applies now. You were never alone, you were simply early. The remnant is rising: artists, intercessors, teachers, healers, each carrying a fragment of divine truth. Together, you form a chorus that can shift the planet's vibration. Be ready. When you meet another chosen one, you will feel it in your spirit before you hear it with your ears. Comment, "I am part of the remnant," if you know this word is yours, and tag another believer who feels the same call. The Spirit says, what took years will happen in days. You've entered a window where divine acceleration overrides natural logic. Doors that were sealed shut will swing open, debts will dissolve, answers will arrive through unexpected channels. This is not fantasy, it's divine timing catching up with obedience. In Acts 12, Peter was chained between soldiers when an angel appeared, broke the chains, and led him out of prison. No struggle, no noise, just sudden freedom. That's what's about to happen for you. Miracles will move quietly but undeniably. People will look at you and say, "How did this happen so fast?" And you'll smile because you'll know it wasn't luck, it was alignment. Don't analyze it, receive it. Faith is heaven's currency, and gratitude is its language. As miracles begin to unfold, record them, speak them aloud, testify publicly. Each testimony becomes a seed for another. Remember, you don't chase miracles. You host them by keeping your atmosphere filled with worship. Pause and ask, am I ready to believe that the impossible is already scheduled? If so, comment, "Sudden miracles are mine," below, and watch expectation become manifestation. The Spirit warns, the wheat and the tares are growing side by side, but harvest time reveals difference. We are in that season now. The stage lights of religion are dimming, and authenticity is becoming the new anointing. Heaven is drawing a line, not to shame, but to separate those who perform faith from those who embody it. You will see voices fall silent, platforms lose power, and hidden integrity come to light. Don't rejoice over anyone's downfall, intercede for discernment. God is cleansing his house, so the next outpouring will not be polluted by ego. Every counterfeit must fade for the genuine to rise. This judgment isn't wrath, it's realignment. The Spirit says, I am exposing pretenders to protect the pure. So stay humble, keep your motives clean. When others manipulate, you meditate. When they compete, you consecrate. Let heaven find you faithful when the spotlight shifts. Chosen one, this is the part of the story where the tears finally make sense. You've endured storms, silence, and separation, but heaven has kept record of every act of faith you performed in secret. Now the Spirit declares, it's crowning time. The crown isn't made of gold, it's made of authority, peace, and wisdom. Doors will open because your name carries spiritual weight now. Favor will follow you, not because you sought it, but because you stayed consistent when nobody applauded. Every seed of obedience is returning multiplied. Think of Ruth gleaning in the field unnoticed until Boaz saw her. She wasn't performing, she was persevering, and in one moment service became status. So will it be for you. Expect honor where you once faced humiliation. Expect stability where there was struggle. Expect divine promotion that no man can reverse. Lift your hands, even where you are now, and whisper, Lord, I receive my crown, not for pride but for purpose. Then comment below, I've waited well. because you truly have. Chosen one, this is heaven's closing whisper tonight. Stand, shine, and speak. The revelation wasn't given so you could hide. It was given so you could illuminate. Your life is a living sermon. Your pain is prophecy fulfilled. Your endurance is evidence that light wins. The time for silence has ended. Stand because truth needs a body to inhabit. Shine because darkness cannot argue with consistent light. Speak because someone's deliverance is locked inside your voice. You are heaven's messenger in human form, walking proof that grace still works. Don't let fear mute what faith birthed. The Spirit says finally, tell them everything I told you tonight. So go share this message, post it, speak it, live it. When you move, heaven moves through you. And as you finish this video, lift your heart and say, Lord, I'm ready. Reveal, restore, and release me. If this prophetic message stirred your spirit, like this video, so it reaches another chosen one tonight. Subscribe to Mirror of the Soul for more revelations, teachings, and divine insight. And in the comments, answer this question. What truth did God just reveal to you that you needed to hear? Share your testimony, because when one chosen one speaks, another awakens. Heaven is listening, and your story matters.